Thanks for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines in Nigerian newspapers this morning. First is First News. And of course, as hinted earlier, Rivers State is still in the news, talking about the crisis there between the executive and the legislature, and of course the wider implications, so to speak. Well, First News says 4 commissioners dumped the governor, Fubara, in 24 hours as pro-Wike officials quit government in droves. Attorney General, others threw in the towel. Governor signs 2024 budget 24 hours after presenting bill to 5 assembly members. And more riders there on this issue. We are considering impeachment proceedings against Fubara. That's according to the APC, the main opposition party in the state. Meanwhile, sacked Speaker Amewule defector lawmakers sit despite court order. Acting Governor Ayedatiwa addresses Ondo people in his capacity as acting governor, of course, following Governor Akeredolu, who had to exit the stage, so to speak, on health grounds. And other stories there: lack of data affecting Nigeria's growth, that's according to the president. Nigeria among developing countries that service debt with $443.5 billion, World Bank says. In sports, Messi nominated for FIFA Best Player Awards as shirts won at World Cup sell for $7.8 million. Kano government ordered to pay demolished shop owners 3 billion naira. That's also there. Still on the river situation, Tinubu's move to end Wike Fubara rift has collapsed, says the APC, adding that 27 defector lawmakers can meet anywhere outside Assembly complex. Following off, still in the news, from First News, Edo gubernatorial race, of course, that will kick off, so to speak, in 2024. Meanwhile, the exiting governor, Godwin Obaseki, is saying, I will support whoever emerges as PDP candidate, because the primaries are due for January or thereabout. Police recover vehicles, motorcycles used for Equity bank robbery. That's also another developing story. And off we go now to check out Leadership Friday. And Leadership says, Rivers crisis takes new dimension. Justice, Finance, Works Commissioners, one other quit Fubara's cabinet. I will make Nigeria import-export hub, says President Tinubu. And there is a development from the NYSC on how they rescued core members in Zamfara State. AMCON recovers 1.8 trillion naira, targets over 70 billion profit. Chudumbiri bombing, of course, that continues to kind of cast a shadow on operations of security forces, with challenges for them to unearth those behind this error bombing. Sambo's Zao Emma demand investigation. Let's see the next paper now. That's The Guardian. As Fubara signs budget, it says 5 commissioners resign, pro-Wike lawmakers pass bills, and that's the 2 prominent, men in the eye of the storm. That's former Governor Wike, who is now minister, and Governor Fubara there. Okay, there's this story on cosmetic surgery. It's a Friday after all, and human angle stories will, of course, find a place in the papers. On cosmetic surgery, when search for perfect silhouettes leads to undesirable outcomes. Of course, there's the graphic detail of the reasons that propel Nigerians and, of course, consumers searching for that perfect figures, ranging from liposuction, eyelid surgery, and the likes. Nigerians free to video photograph officers on duty, says the police. Federal government faults World Bank, insists fuel subsidy is gone. And anxiety in Southeast as Supreme Court rules on Nnamdi Kanu today. That's big and one to watch out for. Finally, with me is The Nation. Crisis in Rivers State. 6 commissioners resigned from Fubara's government. That's the big story there. 27 lawmakers seated at Assembly complex. Governor signs 800 billion naira budget passed by 4 lawmakers. Minister for Solid Minerals, that's Dili Alake, says local and international investors coming to us in droves. Tinubu says, and is quoted there, we are working with lawmakers to fix economy. Slim allocation threatens Edo-Ondo governorship polls as well as other mandates. That's according to INEC. The electoral agency, 6 raise of votes to 89 billion naira. The NDDC said to be owing contractors 50 billion naira. Minister tells lawmakers, and up above the masthead, retirees get 1.63 trillion naira under contributory pension scheme. I'm for peace. Ayedatiwa, acting governor of Ondo State, declares after resumption. Ashain gets staff of office as Sean's coronation begins. And finally, infrastructure top squirers 296.4 billion naira 2024 budget estimates. Ibrahim.
Daily Independence is the first newspaper that I have with me here with the screaming headline, Confusion as sacked pro-Wike Rivers lawmakers hold plenary. Now the writers read, past 2 bills criticize Fubara over assembly demolition. Rivers State Attorney General Adango resigns amid crisis. Fubara signs 800 billion naira 2024 budget, promises critical project. Tinubu's peace deal has collapsed. Rivers APC chairman. You can see that all up on page 29. Keyamo sacks 30 aviation sector directors in one fell swoop. NAS to probe $496 million payment to Indian firm over Itakpe concession. Lack of comprehensive data affecting Nigeria's growth. Tinubu, Edo Guba, I will support whoever PDP supports. Obaseki denies having issues with his deputy. Perform or be sacked. Power Minister threatens heads of parastatals. And Committee of VCs praises removal of universities from IPPIS. And CBN projects decline in oil revenue. Inflation rate in 2024. And on the bottom strip, federal government launches national workplace policy on HIV and AIDS. That's on page 2 of Daily Independence. Next is Daily Trust newspaper. Keyamo sacks 33 aviation directors appointed by Sirika. Removal, not surprising, round table. Officials removed while overseas. Minister advised to harmonize departments. Naira scarcity. POS agents hike charges by 100%. Nigeria, other developing countries spend $443 billion on debt servicing. World Bank. Fubara signs 2024 budget into law 24 hours after presentation. That's about it for the Daily Trust. Next is Blueprint newspaper. The kicker reads, federal government to World Bank. You got this wrong. Subsidy gone for good. Bear with Tinubu. Renewed hope agenda on course. Malagi begs Nigerians. You see that on page 6. INEC yet to access 18 billion naira supplementary budget. Yakubu will institutionalize youth leadership program. Speaker Abbas. We are transforming Nigeria with the support of National Assembly. That's according to the President Tinubu. Inflation exchange rates will decline in 2024, CBN assures. And Nigeria needs courageous, build leaders to make right decisions. Cleric. Rivers. Wike now Dean of Politics in Nigeria. That's according to the APC. And on the bottom strip, removal of varsities from IPPIS will birth new system. VCs. Degrees will no longer be sole guarantor of jobs. JAM registrar. That's on page 6. Next is Nigerian News Direct. CBN lowers revenue expectation from oil exports in 2024. Declares 18.8 billion naira as total trade balance in third quarter of 2023. Tinubu underscores importance of data in policy making, economic growth. Ogbe resumes as ES of NCDMB, pledges to consolidate on local content performance. And above the nameplate, we have alleged defamation. Apologize or pay 500 million naira Mali to Iyabo Ojo. Politicking threatens governance in Rivers as 3 commissioners resign. They're about 6 now. Next is Nigerian Tribune. Will expect less revenue from oil exports in 2024. CBN governor blames illegal bunkering, divestment by IOCs, says inflation, exchange rates to decline. You see that on page 4. Supreme Court decides Nnamdi Kanu's fate today. Aida Tiwato Ondo people, let's build a shared future from a divided past. Funding still major challenge in varsities, vice chancellors. Makinde cautions traditional rulers against giving permission for mining. Shaun's coronation begins with 150 million naira empowerment. Tinubu as Minister of Petroleum, illegal. Falana says President not screened by the Senate. And above the masthead, more shake-up in aviation as federal government sacks directors and agencies. And then Rivers crisis, more commissioners resign. Fubara signs a 800 billion naira appropriation bill into law. G27 sits, adopts local government autonomy bill. Interesting. Next is the Punch newspaper. Fuel price, reject World Bank 750 naira per litre proposal. NLC warns federal government, and the riders read, Labour says fresh price hike will lead to anarchy. Federal government insists subsidy has been removed. President Tinubu government fears unrest, subsidizing fuels secretly. Marketers allege project 1,000 naira per litre. Now, customs generates 70% revenue from Lagos, says Comptroller General. 32 states budget 14 trillion naira for roads, health, others. Kidnappers return to Lagos. Abduct two, demand 500 million naira ransom. And above the nameplate, 6 Rivers commissioners resign. Assembly factions hold parallel sittings. And the last but not least is the Nature newspaper. Nigeria's carbon credit market receives a boost. Recede partners CREAC NG. You see that on page 3. Commissioner justifies demolition of buildings in Lagos. That's on page 3. EU partners Nasarawa government on digital economy, green energy. ICCDI trains 500 Nigerian students on climate justice. Nigerian lawmakers task government on dangers of deforestation in Ekiti. Enugu community at risk of flooding due to diversion of water channels. That's about it for the newspapers that we have for review this morning.
All right, and there you have it now. So many range of stories, so to speak. River State still the biggest so far, and we wait to see how things will pan out during the course of the day. Of course, yesterday it began with one commissioner, and then slowly
it started with the Attorney General.
With the Attorney General, and of course,
well, let's say it started with. Okay, you said yesterday. I would have said it started with the lawmakers themselves.
Oh, absolutely. If you trail back to before Thursday, so to speak. And analysts have, observed, our reporter also observed that, many of these commissioners were actually inherited into or brought into the Fubara administration because they had served in those same capacities under the former governor, Nyesom Wike, and they gave divergent reasons, some saying personal, some saying on the matter of principle. They had to resign, and then a particular paper was even saying that there are 6 more, but it remains to be seen. They haven't confirmed, or the reporter or the paper in question hasn't cited their letters of resignation. But these 6 have been confirmed: commissioners for education, for justice, a former chief of staff to the governor who is now a commissioner. Is also, among the 6.
Finance, work, social, etc.
Right. Really, really interesting. And of course, in the midst of all of this, 24 hours after, well, is it up to 24 hours after, presenting the budget? Now the budget has been
signed into law. It's quite interesting. And then I told you when we started talking about it, you just go grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, and keep watching the movie. It's a season film.
It continues to unfold. But of course, you know, analysts after analysts have also posited that what is key right now is the peace and development, because here you are, you've presented a budget of, we call it reconciliation, renewal, hope renewal, and continuity. And of course, at the back of all of this, to give life to this document is, you know, for the good of the people. As in, you need all hands to be on deck. You need support from various stakeholders, and with, you know, a major chunk of the lawmakers and then the dual citizens, the court has said only you, so to speak, are the authentic speaker, but then the other side that has more numbers still carry on to do their own meeting. So we'll wait to see what pans out during the course of the day. Of course, this is also going to form a large chunk of our discussions during the course of the program today.